when it comes to ancestral remains and archaeologically sensitive areas and projects, involving the community that are on the ground, immediately involved, immediately impacted, is really important.
I think a lot of people look at the skeleton and they see something that's dry, dead, or old. When I look at it, I see life. I see a storybook of a person, of everything that they did. You get to tell stories about people and places that no one else can.
As Santa Cruz and its surrounding communities head into a week of giving thanks for what we love and what we have, I want to wish everyone both good appetite and a loose tongue in telling the people you love how much you love them. Hi, I'm Sam Rollins, Chief of Communications for Santa Cruz City Schools with your weekly news, and I am feeling particularly grateful, first and foremost, for our community, whose votes are making it look very likely that measures K and L will be fixing roofs, expanding solar power, and enriching the lives of students for decades. Thank you. When a community invests in itself, in its children and future, it stands out to me as an act of support and love for each other. I also want to take the opportunity to reflect on the fact that people have been sharing that love of community here in this place for a long time. The astounding depth of history this place holds goes back longer than we tend to think about. Of course, in Europe and China and Mexico, people live with standing reminders of the thousands of years that this has been someone's home. But for us, that memory is deeper down and so harder to reach, but it's beneath our feet everywhere we walk. The Awaswas and Mutsun peoples and their surrounding communities still live with all of us newcomers, and their roots are just below the pavement. At Santa Cruz High last year, an archaeologist team that monitors all excavation quickly spotted signs in the soil that we had found a spot of human habitation. And when we got out of the way for them to explore, they found a reminder of that history. And in all histories, there is, of course, pain, hardship, damage, malice, and death. But there is, of course, love and life. We don't know what her name was. The elderly mother who died 850 years ago and was buried with foods and medicines as tokens of her community's love and respect for her. But she still can, across time, tell us a lot about her life and the generations of life that built history here long before we did. Before we dig into those details, we're going to have some news, but I would like to start the season of gratitude by thanking the Indigenous representatives who decided that the life of this woman who built a family and died in Santa Cruz should be a knowledge shared with our students and community. They did not have to let us in, and I want to say how incredibly thankful we are that they did. Okay, we are also very thankful that our food services team has been awarded a farm to school grant to help provide local organic foods and to teach students more about their relationship to the food systems around them. You can learn more about that grant at link number 1, but we are very excited. We're also very thankful to be able to hand out free COVID test kits to all families before the Thanksgiving break. Those are available at your schools. We are also hosting incoming parent webinars in a couple of weeks to help families coming into new schools, elementary, middle, or high, to get a preview of campus life, to get a head start in making the most of the opportunities and supports that we have available, and to let families ask us any questions they have about this new transition. Parents currently at schools are encouraged to join in. You will likely learn something that you didn't know about your school and the supports and opportunities available. And please share this link with any families that you know who are headed into a new school next year. We want to make it as easy and comfortable as possible to make that transition. You can find info at these webinars, these three webinars, elementary, middle, and high, at link number 2. This weekend is the Westlake Winter Artisan Fair. Local artists will be selling jewelry, art, apparel, ceramics, and more at Westlake. It's this Saturday, the 19th, from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m., and all are welcome. It's a great way to get a head start on holiday shopping while supporting local artists. You can learn more at link number 3. There is also still time to please fill out our annual survey. Just 5 minutes of your time will help guide our programs and spending for the coming year, and we want you to be in charge of as much as you can. Please fill out that at link number 4. And now, heading into Thanksgiving, let's all be grateful for the opportunity to hear a voice from hundreds of years ago remind us of the history of our world. My favorite fact is that by breathing the air and drinking the water in Santa Cruz County, we share a chemical composition deep in our cells that is unique to this place. We share it with each other. We share it with her, who lived her life almost 1,000 years ago in this place where we live ours. Thank you, and have a great break next week.
To me, as a member of this community right now today, I know Walnut Street as the way to cut over from Mission to get to the north end of Pacific. But there was a different world, a vastly different world that is, the remnants are buried under the ground here.
As a cultural representative of the Canyon Nation, I'm here to voice that when Indigenous peoples and archaeologists and institutions collaborate, amazing things can happen.
Not only are we looking at a woman, but we're also looking at a mother. She had evidence that she had at least one baby.
We're literally standing on the ancestral homes of other people and other communities that lived in the past.
So when we looked at age, I was able to estimate based on skeletal degradation that I saw on the pelvis that she was about 68 years old. So now we know she's a woman, she's a mother, she's an elder.
There's such a need for us to understand beyond just land acknowledgements how vibrant the culture was here.
And to help the populace, the student populace as well as the instructors, we wanted to be sure that they had a sense of understanding of where it is that they are and the environment that they're in.
One thing that's really cool about DNA, it is really a way for past life to speak to us today. If we're careful, we can measure the amount of carbon-14 in this tooth. Turns out it's about 845 years old.
What we're trying to contribute is really a deeper understanding of where we live, of the land that we are now using, that obviously belong to somebody else.
And there's a special responsibility, I think, that goes along with that too, that the whole team feels.
Consensual, communicative, collaborative, reciprocal relationship building is really, really important.
Really, this story, it's about an individual, but it's also about the history of love and care.
She wouldn't have been able to gather food. She wouldn't have been able to hunt in any kind of meaningful way. She would have needed help to do every single thing in her life.
When you see that coming out of the soil beneath your feet and you're actually shown.
The fact that she lived as long as she did with these types of conditions, it shows you a history of care. People loved her. They took care of her. They buried her with objects that were hard to get.
I feel like it kind of changes maybe how you feel about yourself and how you feel about your connection to the place.
And all of that was part of your canvas this whole time.
It's a way that community members are able to be proud of their home, proud of their institution for going about things in an integral and accountable fashion, and a way that community can be together. We have to ensure that the narrative is inclusive. This is a form of justice.